Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and to another video. Alright, so for this video, we're gonna skip the intro for right now and just jump into why we're here, because I am excited to share this information and I really want you to, have the knowledge that I now have that has seemingly changed the way that I have approached my goals. And get to it. The sooner you can get to it, the sooner you can stop making the mistake that I did, right? So if you're like me, then get into a space where you're introspecting is not hard. Getting into a space where you're planning like goals or see things that you want to achieve, that's not hard, right? Getting that inspiration isn't hard. Getting the initial boost of motivation that comes from it isn't hard, and subsequently jumping into planning mode is like innate. It's automatic. Once you're motivated, we're going to start planning it out, right? You're planning out the goal, what you want to achieve, and you've given yourself a timeline, and perhaps you've even started. And so we're off to the races. We're feeling motivated. We're feeling good about this new adventure. And we've started on the road, on the path to achieving that goal. So good, right? But then we start. 1 month, 2 months in, we find that, okay, naturally, motivation has left the building and we start to derail from the plan. And we perhaps even have stalled and stopped for a bit because, like I said, motivation is a feeling. Feelings change, and we're not feeling motivated today, right? So that's the obvious problem, right? That motivation is gone, but what's not so obvious is the way to deal with it, or what wasn't as obvious to me at the time was a way to deal with it, and a way in which I could still achieve my goals, still stay on track, even though I wasn't feeling motivated. So here's the lesson I learned, and here's what I did about it. The lesson: you can't plan for tomorrow's motivation today. You can't make a plan to say every day you're going to do this, because that's based on how you feel right now, right? Life is happening to everybody. Things are constantly changing. We're not robots, right? But we still want to be able to be in a position where we can achieve the goals. And this era of social media that we're in, where, of course, we're not showing the hard work, we're not showing the days where we don't feel like it, it helps to perpetuate a sense of perfectionism, right? And somebody like me who's coming from that mindset oftentimes feel pressure to maintain that level of motivation irrespective of how I'm feeling. And it took me a long time and a lot to realize that that's not sustainable. That's not feasible. We can't do that to ourselves, right? So here's what I did about it. So in order to tackle that, I sat down and I thought about, okay, I read some books, of course, I got some inspiration, and I thought about, okay, I have this goal that I want to achieve. And let's say for the sake of this video, that goal is to read 12 books for the year. And initially, I had a goal where I was like, I'm going to read 1 hour a day. 1 hour a day, I'm going to read. Now, in the moment, that seems like a good idea, right? You can easily spend an hour watching Netflix, easily spend an hour, scrolling on social media. But you can do that because it's not required. It doesn't feel like work. Reading feels like work. Let's be honest, it feels like something that you have to actively be involved in. And so sometimes it took a lot more out of me to read than it would to scroll on my phone. So when I realized that I was stalled and I wasn't, seeing any headway, making any headway towards achieving the goal, what I did was go back to the drawing board. I said, all right, Shanique, what's the least amount of effort that I need to put out towards this goal in order for me to make some traction? The least amount of effort. All right, and I broke it down 2 ways. I said, okay, I can either read for 15 minutes or read 10 pages. And I said, okay, what feels better to me? 15 minutes. 15 minutes is easy. I can set a timer, read for 15 minutes, boom. 15 minutes gone in no time. If I feel like if I'm reading 10 pages, then I'm constantly just counting the pages or how much page I have left reading up until I get to that point and not really taking in what I'm reading, as opposed to, okay, 15 minutes, I don't have to monitor the time. It will alarm when the 15 minutes have expired. And if I want to, if time permits, if I'm feeling motivated in that time frame, I can set a longer time after that initial 15 minutes have elapsed and continue until it's time to stop, or I feel like I need to stop. And more often than not, that's what will happen. But 15 minutes is the minimum that I need to put out in order to take some action towards this goal. Let me tell you something. Just doing that alone blew my mind. Again, I'm a perfectionist. Well, that's the mindset that I'm coming from. And so to me, giving the minimum was not a thing, right? It's either I'm giving everything or I'm giving nothing. And so meeting in the middle and finding good enough helped me to be able to remove the feeling from the goal, put it into a strategic and logical task, and then add it as something that I can get done. In the same way I would check off making my bed, check off I read for 15 minutes. I can't tell you how many goals that I have revisited with this mindset, and the mental roadblock out the way, and I've been able to kind of make some traction on those goals and even achieve them before the deadline that I've set, on myself. And it's all because I have this big goal, yes, and I had, perfect conditions for achieving these goals every day. And then I had, okay, what's the minimum amount of effort? What's the minimum ask of myself to get to this goal, to get some action, to get some traction moving? Because motivation will come back once I start, seeing some progress. Once I feel like, okay, I've checked off book number 3, like, that wasn't too bad. It will come back. And then I'll read for 1 hour, I'll read for half a day. But on the days when I don't feel like it, 15 minutes will do just fine. So I say all that to say, challenge yourself, revisit your goals. After all, it shouldn't only be something that you're doing once a year or planning for once a year. It should definitely be a monthly, a weekly, or sometimes even a daily thing, depending on the goal itself, where you're looking at that goal and you're reminding yourself of the promises that you've made to yourself. And then in your plan of action, have that ideal and then have the minimum effort. What's the minimum effort? If losing weight is your goal, and you know that, okay, ideally you want to work out 5 days a week, but 3 is a minimum, and 15 minutes or 30 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever that is, be that specific when creating that plan. And trust me, the execution will take care of itself, because ultimately you have removed the feeling out of it and you have made it into something that you can just get up and go. I don't know, it has changed my world. It's not new, but maybe I needed to hear it differently in order to take action. And so I wouldn't be a good steward if I didn't share that information with you. All right, so that's it. That's a tidbit. That's it. That's the tip, right? So if you're new around here, my name is Shanique, and I create videos on personal development and personal growth. And if you're not new, you already know what time it is. So thanks for coming back to my video and, indulging in just what I have to share, what I'm excited to share with you guys. If, this is something that you like, this content speaks to you, make sure you're subscribed. I want to see more of you. I want to, interact with more of you guys. And I love coming on here and sharing what I'm passionate about. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you hit the bell. Do all the things that the other YouTuber them tell you to do. And then, of course, I'll see you on the next video. Okay. Bye, guys.